I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're exploring a powerful path back to spiritual wisdom. We're taking a look at a terrific book. It is called Initiated by the Spirits, and it's written by a wonderful author. Her name is FrédériqueApffelMarglin. She is a renowned anthropologist turned eco-spiritual advocate, and her groundbreaking book reveals how one Peruvian man's shamanic awakenings challenge everything we thought we knew about science, healing, and the sacred. If you're curious about ancient wisdom or how to heal the soul of modern society, this is your invitation. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Frédérique, thank you so much for joining us here today on GBN.
I'm glad to meet you, Logan. I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, it's great to meet you as well. I loved your book. What made you decide to write this book and put out this wonderful healing message that you have?
Well, what made me do it was the initiation against his will of Randy Gonzalez, whom I call my heart son. That's how it's in Spanish is mi hijo de corazón, my heart son. So my adopted son. So I had, he's the son of my right-hand woman there who helped me. I used to teach courses, study abroad at our center in the Upper Amazon in Peru. And she helped me. So Randy had been involved in everything. And one day, I was going quite far away to a place to do ayahuasca that I had never been. I had been doing ayahuasca since I arrived in Peru in 1994. And I didn't want to go to this unknown place with people I did not know. So I told Randy, come with me. And he said, no, I don't want to. And I made him come. And it turned out he was initiated.
Amazing. Explain to the folks at home what an ayahuasca ceremony is.
Yes, so ayahuasca is a brew of two plants, major plants. One is a creeper, a liana, and the other is a bush called chacruna. And the DMT is in the chacruna, actually, and they are boiled together under ritual condition. Randy learned how to do that at our center, so I've watched it, and it takes 36 hours, and often singing to it, singing to what's being cooked with water, these two plants, and then it is ready for consumption. And typically in the Upper Amazon, a curandero, a healer, people come to him for various, whatever issues they have, and they usually have to first do some cleansing, and you take some plants and it kind of, whoops, makes you cleanse very thoroughly. And then in the evening, we gather and we sit in a circle, and the healer begins the session in darkness, in total darkness. And the healer sings songs called icaros that really guide us. And this brew is very, I mean, I've been doing it for over 30 years. And I discovered that it is incredibly powerful, powerful for healing, powerful for spiritual growth.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your first reaction when Randy was spontaneously initiated during the ayahuasca ceremony?
Yes, I was in that ayahuasca ceremony, but of course, we don't know what's happening to other people.
Hmm.
So he told me that when we got back home, about a day and a half later. And I was just amazed. I was totally amazed. It was very hard, this initial initiation. They first tried to kill him, and he thought he was going to die. He was sure he was going to die. And he didn't die. But, I went back to reading Mircea Eliade, who is the great authority in anthropology on shamanism. I had read him in graduate school, but forgotten. So I read again in the book, and it turned out that what happened to Randy was mild compared to what Eliade was describing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happens, he was covering the world in terms of shamanism.
Amazing. Talk to us a little bit about how sacred plants like ayahuasca can truly help with mental health issues here in the Western world.
Yes. So, the work that's very well known is the one of Michael Pollan, How to Change Your Mind, uh, that was published in 2018. And there he goes over a great deal of the scientific research that started again around the year 2000, because it had been stopped when all these psychotropic plants were made illegal, with the status of the worst kind, the worst drugs.
Yeah.
And that really killed whatever scientific research was happening at the time. So it started again, and the results confirmed what I knew from my experience in the upper Amazon of Peru, that it's in fact the only thing that can heal some of the very persistent epidemics of mental illness, um, even suicide and addiction that we have in the US and in most modernized societies, that the existing medicine don't work very well, but the psychedelics do.
Amazing. They hold a lot of promise for sure. Talk to us a little bit about the loss of enchantment in modern life and how it can be recovered.
Yes, yes. Part of the book, the third part of the book, 1/3 of the book in the middle is Randy's voice telling me his experience during almost 4 years of initiatory experiences with discarnate beings. But at the end, I kind of try to place it in historical context,
Mhm.
and I go over the eradication in Europe of shamanism uh, and what's called the witch hunts that started in around the 15th century seriously, and were very brutal, and they burned alive the women. They were mostly women. There were a few men as well.
Mhm.
And they burned these people alive, considering the church declared them to be heretics,
Mhm.
the Catholic Church. But the newly arose Protestant churches at the beginning of the 16th century also considered them heretic. So both the Protestant and the Catholic thought this was terrible.
Yeah.
And this eradication was successful in Europe. It was not successful, thank God, in the Americas, and especially in the Amazonian region. Uh, I think basically because the people had their own language, and they could hold these sessions in intimate family settings,
Mm.
even though I think there's evidence that it used to be big public rituals where these plants were consumed, but these were very visible. And the Inquisition, they had to worry about the Inquisition. So it survived in the Americas.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about silence and awe and how they're crucial to reconnecting with the sacred.
Yes, I agree. Awe, certainly, and awe, especially awe for the cosmos, for the earth, for nature, uh, is fundamental. And silence, um, because modern life is so loud and so busy.
Yeah.
And you get, it's directed at people constantly, messages, constantly, this constantly background, this kind of
Hmm.
background noise. And therefore, it's really, really necessary to find quiet places. Uh,
Exactly. You'll reboot your brain, you'll reboot your heart, you'll reboot your spirit by living in silence at times and in awe as much as you possibly can, without a doubt. How can
yeah.
readers apply the teachings of this book in their own daily lives?
Well, unfortunately, ayahuasca is still classified as a drug, an
Mhm.
illegal drug. Although, as documented by, especially by Michael Pollan, but many other writers, there are people, and many of them women, who get ayahuasca somehow and guide sessions under the radar. It, of course, it's a very risky thing to do, but they do it because they know it's the only thing that really helps, and
Mm.
they do it to help people. Now, I would not, that's up to people.
Individual choices. Yeah.
I personally would not do it that way.
Yeah.
I only do it with known curanderos, healers
Hmm.
in Peru because I go there regularly. I have a nonprofit center there
Mm.
with Randy, so that's where I prefer to do it. Yeah, but if
Wonderful.
but
Talk
if
to
you
us a little bit about the mystical dialogue between you and Randy and what it teaches us about the future of humanity and the planet.
well, we he the third of the book, which is his voice, he's telling me. We sat down for hours, and I recorded him uh, telling me the whole long experience of being initiated, and and it was very much against his will. And he tried to quit about a year and a half into it. He tried to quit because he received what's known there as a mystical dart or a magical dart. And it was so painful. He said, "That's it. I want my old simple life back." And so he was
Yeah.
going to do lead his last ayahuasca ceremony. And when he finished the ceremony, he had decided this is it. So he's packing his things. And at that moment, the Virgin of Guadalupe appears to him
Wow.
and gives him powers and protection. And
Mm.
that, of course, turned him around
Yeah.
completely. He was also like that about a few months later, visited by the mountains sacred to the indigenous people locally, where our center is, called Wamanwasi, which mean the house of the eagle. And an eagle came to him, and it was such a powerful experience.
Mm.
And he also received powers and protection from this eagle. So both the Guadalupe and the local spirit, mountain spirit, came to him and gave him protection and powers. Um, since that has happened, I have done ayahuasca sessions only with him because
Mm.
I trust him 100%. He's a remarkably self-effacing young man. Well, he's now 42, so
Mm.
it's young for me. It's the age
Yeah,
of my daughter.
yeah.
Uh, and he doesn't have an arrogant atom in his whole body and soul. He's a
Mm.
wonderful young man, and I
Amazing.
totally trust him, and he does a wonderful job of healing
Yeah.
and singing. And I had never heard him sing. I've known him since he's 15. I had never heard him sing. A boom comes this gorgeous voice
Wow.
out of nowhere. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. It's an amazing story. I'm glad you've documented it in this great book of yours. The name of the book is Initiated by the Spirits, Healing the Ills of Modernity Through Shamanism, Psychedelics, and the Power of the Sacred. It is a visionary work for those seeking spiritual depth and global healing. Frédérique, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Logan, very much.
I appreciate your wisdom, your insight in this wonderful book that you've created. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.